Hi, this is Jamey with Stonemeyer Games, and I'm here today to talk about my favorite game mechanism in Castle Knights, a Haba game. Castle Knights is a game that I played for the first time at Gen Con this past weekend, and I didn't play many games at Gen Con. I was talking to a lot of people, but I would say that this is my favorite new-to-me game that I played at Gen Con. Even though it's an older game, it's been around for a while. A friend just happened to be down in the exhibit hall, and she picked up a copy. Maybe it was on sale or something. I don't know. But I'm glad she got it because it's awesome. The basic idea in Castle Knights is that it's a cooperative game, and players are picking up these big wooden blocks and stacking them on one another on certain positions on the board. And the board itself is kind of tiered. So there's one level that's big and high up, and it's easy to access. And then I think the hardest level is recessed into the box, and it's a lot smaller. And you have to stack these tokens in a certain amount of time, and if you do, you win as a group. Now, I said you're picking up these tokens, and this is my favorite mechanism. It's really a favorite component. It's just a brilliant component. Instead of picking these tokens up with your hands, you have this bungee string it's like this. It's this cross string, and every end of it has a little hook on it. And so every player, all four players, take one end of this string and they hook their finger around it. And as a group, you steer this X, and right in the middle of the X is a hole that can get bigger or smaller depending on how hard you're pulling at it. And so, as a group, you're using this hole. That hole is how you pick up the tokens, and you're steering around the board, the table really, where all these blocks are scattered around, to pick up the blocks. As a group, you have to coordinate it. You have to work together to actually get these tokens, to pick up these tokens, and it is just so much fun. And I think I've been trying to figure out why it's so much fun. Part of it is just kind of a silly game, like you're picking up blocks with your friends and stacking them. But it's this joint effort of this bungee string, this brilliant component that really requires you all to work together. You can't do it without everybody else, especially when everybody's hooked onto the string, everybody has one hook on the string, and you're trying to get, say, a piece with corners, because you need each person pulling at the string with just the right amount of tension to create a square in the middle, because you can kind of reshape that middle piece depending on how hard and where you're pulling at the string. And so you have to create this square, slip it over the block, and then let it tighten, so you can actually pick up the block as a group and then move it over to where you're stacking it, and then loosen, and then everybody pulls away the string at just the right time. I talk about cooperative games a fair amount on this channel, even though I haven't designed one yet. And we talk about ideas like quarterbacking, like one player telling everybody else what to do, or where a cooperative game might as well just be a multiplayer solitaire game because you're doing your own thing and someone else is doing their own thing. And this game, there's none of that at all, because it's real-time group coordination to make this thing work, to pick up these weirdly shaped objects that are all over the table, to adjust your position, to get that middle section just right, adjust your tension, the timing of it, and you're talking to one another, you're directing one another, but you're also listening to one another and following each other's lead. It's all the things that I think a cooperative game should be. Even though it's a very simple child's game, this is that one mechanism, that component just brings it all together to make it a truly cooperative game. You have to cooperate or you will not win this game. And I just love that. So I thought I'd ask you today, what is a component that is so integral to a game, not necessarily a cooperative game, but to any game, a component that is so integral to the game that you really could not have that game experience without that component? I'd love to hear what that is in the comments. Thanks.